So if you are a real estate investor looking to invest in a short-term rental in Fredericksburg, Texas, you definitely want to watch this video because a lot has changed over this past year. My name is Ryan Rendon. I'm a real estate agent right here in Fredericksburg and Kerrville, Texas. And if you are thinking about buying or selling at any point in 2023, reach out. I've helped out a lot of people buy and sell over the years, and I would love to help you out as well. So the number one request I get from real estate investors is a list of potential properties that they can convert into short-term rentals. And the big question is, why? Well, it's because you can make 2 to 3 times as much money than you would typically make on a long-term rental investment. Now, obviously, you want to do a lot of research and due diligence prior to making that purchase, but if you play your cards right, you can do extremely well in the short-term rental market. Now, with that being said, there has been a lot of changes to the ordinances for STRs here in Fredericksburg over this past year. Now, before we dive into all that boring ordinance stuff, let's go ahead and read an article that I recently read, and it's from the Texas Neighborhood Coalitions, and it states, the number of short-term rentals in the region has soared to more than 1,900 in June of 2022. Approximately 25% of all homes within the city limits of Fredericksburg are now short-term rentals. And because of this huge influx of short-term rentals to our market, we've seen a massive 46% increase in the median home value according to the NAR/RPR website. And unfortunately, this has caused a pretty significant tax burden for all of our full-time permanent residences. And one of the comments from that Texas Neighbors website is that Fredericksburg is turning into the Aspen of Texas. Now, I want to go ahead and look at some of the numbers to see why so many people are purchasing homes to either convert into short-term rentals or that already have their STR permits. Okay, so we're going to look at this house at 1304 Pike Lane, which is on the market for $595,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, looks like it's at 1609 square feet. Scrolling down, it was built in 2012, so it's a pretty new house for the most part, and it's on a huge half-acre lot. And then scrolling through the photos here, obviously the curb appeal, it's a pretty nice looking house. Big corner lot. You have all this lot space over to the left of the house. And then looking at the inside, it's got a nice updated kitchen. It's even got an open concept into the living room here. Really nice wood floors, high ceiling. So it's got that, it's got that feeling that people would want whenever they come into Fredericksburg to rent out the house for the weekend, to do whatever they're going to do out with the wineries and everything else. But again, this house is pretty nice. It even has these nice wood beams here in the master bedroom. Nice big master bath. So as you can tell, this is a pretty decent house, and I think it would do really well as a short-term rental here in Fredericksburg. Now let's go ahead and hop over to nerdwallet.com to see what the mortgage calculations would come out to on a monthly basis. So we are looking at a sales price of $595,000, and likely you'll be going the conventional loan route. And since you're purchasing this property as an investment property, you're looking at right around 20% down, which comes out to $119,000. And the current interest rates are right around 6.15%. Your monthly payment would be around $3,700 per month. Now let's quickly slide over to Zillow.com to look at the long-term rental value, which is going to be right around $2,500 to probably $2,800 per month. If you do the math for that, you're actually looking at a negative gross profit of $1,100 per month if you decide to go the long-term rental route. And of course, that doesn't even count for the expenses you're going to have, such as random repairs. Now this is what we're all here for. If you're looking to convert this property into an STR short-term rental, I suggest using a website like AirDNA, which will give you a rough estimate of what your revenue will be for that use. So let's go ahead and hop on that website to see what the revenue would be for Pike Lane. Okay, so all you have to do is go down to the bottom left and click on Rentalizer. And after you do that, you just type in the address, click on search, make sure that the right amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, and number of guests is properly entered. After clicking on update, right below the property photo, you will see the annual revenue, the average daily rate, and the average occupancy rate. Now, to get the most accurate data, I would probably pay for the full website service, but this will at least give you a rough estimate on what you're looking at before writing an offer on a property. So for Pike Lane, you're looking at an annual revenue of around $57,000 per year, which comes out to just over $4,800 a month. And this doesn't count for the expenses you'll have, of course, like, cleanup fees, yard maintenance, and just general upkeep. But if you live in the area, you could take care of a lot of that stuff yourself. You're going to be netting more money at the end of the day. So it's pretty clear by going through this example why so many people are buying short-term rentals rather than long-term rentals. But, of course, this is all just rough numbers. I would definitely do way more due diligence and research prior to making a purchase. But I hope this at least gives you an idea of the potential that's out there. Okay, so now that we've gone through some of the numbers, let's go ahead and highlight some of these city ordinances that have changed over this past year. And of course, I'm not going to go through every single detail and every single page. It's literally like 800 pages long, but I want to go ahead and highlight some of the main points you need to focus on whenever you're doing your research. Okay, so you need to know that the city is broken up into different zones. You have residentially zoned areas, you have commercially zoned areas, and then you have subcategories of each one of those. There are also 5 types of short-term rentals, and each one of these requires a permit through the city. You have the accessory, which is basically a guest house. You have B&B, which is rooms within the main residence that you're renting out. You have condominiums, also pretty much doesn't really exist here in the area. And then you have facilities, which is up to 8 units. And then finally, you have unoccupied, which is what most people are shooting for. Now let's go ahead and look at the requirements for each one of these. So looking at this graph, pretty much every zone other than R1-A allows for accessory and B&B use, but once you get to condo, facility, and unoccupied, that's where things start to get a little bit more difficult. For the most part, most of the houses you're going to run across on Zillow, websites like mine, are going to be in those R1 or R2 zoned areas. And the biggest change to all the ordinances over this past year was for the R1 zoned areas. Again, that's the most common that you're going to find when shopping around on Zillow. And here's the biggest catch now with R1. You have to now get a conditional use permit in order to even operate as an unoccupied STR in that neighborhood. So in order to qualify for a conditional use permit, 2 or more lot lines, one for a corner lot, must be abutting a lawfully permitted STR unoccupied, and 75% or more of the properties on that same side of the street between intersecting streets are lawfully permitted STRs unoccupied. And you're probably asking, why did the city even make this change? Well, the real reason behind it is to protect all those neighborhoods that are primarily filled with long-term and permanent residences. And to be perfectly honest, I think it was a really good idea because there were so many people who have lived here their entire lives, even for multiple generations, who are just getting flat out fed up of their entire street turning into one big Airbnb. So if there is a particular house that you're curious about, all you have to do is go to the city website and look at the zoning map and just zoom into whatever street that house is on. And from there, it's actually completely color coded as well. You'll be able to see what the zoning is for that neighborhood, wherever that house is located. So once you find that perfect house and it does qualify for the permit that you need, all you have to do is go through the application process with the city. It's a $150 application fee plus $100 per room. So you're looking at a $450 fee for a 3-bedroom house. So if you're planning on investing in a short-term rental or even a primary residence at any point this year, make sure you click my buyer's guide down below so you know exactly what to expect coming into this new market. Hey guys, appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.